This is the last video I'm going to make in 2013, and it was just going to be about some random crap, but then I realised that I should take this opportunity to look over the past year and see just how far I've come. When you're going through life and doing a lot of the same things every day, you tend not to notice the little things that change until suddenly a whole year's gone by and you wonder how on earth it happened so fast. I think it's really important to look back at the things you've achieved and the things that didn't go so well, so that next year you can really get things done and further shape your life into what you want it to be. So here are a few things I've learnt this year that I didn't realise I'd learned until just now. At the beginning of this year, I did something that set in motion one of the things I like most about my life right now. I split up with someone that I was in a long-term relationship with, a relationship that probably shouldn't have lasted even half as long as it did, but it did because I was too scared of hurting the other person to tell them my true feelings, so I hid them. For many reasons which I won't go into, the relationship soured and I didn't want to be in it anymore, but I was living with this person, we went to uni together, we were in a band together helping each other with our degrees, our lives were so intertwined that I felt I couldn't end the relationship because the turmoil of it all would ruin our uni work and make our home life a living hell. But hiding those feelings and pretending that nothing was wrong made our relationship just as much of a living hell as it would have been had we broke up. So in reality, I did nothing to save the situation at all. So lesson number one, don't ever hide your feelings in a relationship because it might feel terrifying to say these things out loud, but you can only ever improve a relationship if you're honest with each other. But lesson number two is much more important, and that is that you do not need a relationship with another person to feel happy. When I was younger, I used to crave relationships all the time, and I guess in one respect, especially when you're a teenager, it's just something you have to go through because almost everyone feels lonely and like they need a relationship to make them happy. But I found that it's definitely not true, especially when it's a toxic relationship that doesn't actually make you happy anyway. You will go through many makeups and breakups in your time, but then all of a sudden, when you've been tested enough times, something inside you will just change and make you realise that being alone isn't all that bad at all, and in fact you can get through life just fine by yourself. I split up with this person and instantly it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders and I just thought, I'm free to live my life however I want to, and I've never once felt lonely since. That whole process set off a chain reaction of other realisations too, like worrying about how people perceive you as a person and feeling self-conscious about body image and fashion sense. None of those things affect me anymore because I think what I discovered by getting out of that relationship was a bit of self-respect. I think that's the bottom line of that whole experience. You can't learn to love someone else properly until you've learned to love yourself, and trust me, it will happen, and it's so worth waiting for because it makes you feel unstoppable. Another thing I've learnt this year is something that pretty much everyone can relate to, and it's about that old chestnut, procrastination. I know, sometimes you just wake up in the morning or in the afternoon and think, damn, I just cannot be bothered today. And sometimes it's alright to do that. You can't spend every waking moment of your life working, otherwise you'd mentally self-combust. It's fine to take a day off every now and then and recharge your batteries, but at the same time, we know damn well that we could make more effort and spend more time being productive than we do. And it's about time we did something about it because it really does affect your life more than you realise. Looking back, I have done some cool things this year and taken some steps towards the things I want in life, but when I really think about it, everything I've achieved over the whole year I probably could have squashed into about 5 months. I know it's easy to give into laziness and just say, I'll do it tomorrow, but if you do that too often, tomorrow might be too late and that thing that was actually quite important to you might never happen. I think we all need to buckle down and put some effort into life because you only get out what you put in. Which leads me to probably the most important thing I've learned this year. As I've mentioned before in several videos, I suffer from a crippling fear of the future, fear of screwing things up and never achieving my dreams. Which sounds pretentious, I know, but everyone has ambitions and things that they're passionate about, and sometimes it can seem really hard to make those things a reality. I spend half my time worrying that I'm not talented enough to achieve my dreams in the first place, and that even if I am, I'm going to do something to screw it up in the process. And the other half of the time feeling that even if I am talented and smart, there's not enough opportunities in the world these days for everyone to get what they wish for, so no matter what I do, I'm still gonna get left behind. And it is exhausting, let me tell you. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But it has to stop. That's what I realised this year when I decided to stop moping around in a pit of depression and actually start trying to make things happen. Because once I started trying, things happened. I kept working towards making better music, and now I'm recording some of the best songs I've ever written. I put a lot of time and effort into making YouTube videos, and some of them have actually turned out pretty good. And I actually started reaching out to other musicians on the internet instead of just wallowing around in my own negativity. and within a few months I'd started performing at a local venue once a week, I'd joined a band, and I'm also booked to play the Saturday and Sunday of a music festival next year. It's slow progress, and I can tell that it's going to be a long road to eventual success, but the difference is that with every step I take, I get that little bit more optimistic about the future, which is something I haven't had in a long time. It's true, you can't sit on your ass and expect success to magically come to you. You have to meet it halfway, but you know what? Maybe that's not such a bad thing, because life's supposed to be an adventure, and maybe life isn't actually as hard as we think it is sometimes. It can seem impossible to just let go of your worries and trust that everything's going to be alright, but worrying never solves anything anyway, so don't let it get in your way. I think it's time we all believed in ourselves and the world around us, because every single person on this planet is capable of doing wonderful things and achieving happiness, and you and I are no exception. Self-respect, responsibility and optimism. That's what I've learned in 2013, and now I feel like I can get things done like they've never been done before. I hope you guys can take something from this, as well as the things you've learnt this year, and we can all move forward together as a big group of sentimental idiots. You know what I mean. Let's make 2014 the year we turned our lives around. We're gonna own this bitch. Stay classy, YouTube. I'll see you next week.